something. And then there was this very lively conversation today. So I'm responding to that. Um, I just like sharing my thoughts. I'm still cooking and stuff, and I'm about to do homework with my daughter shortly. But in the meantime, while I'm finishing up the stuff in the kitchen, I'll say this. Um, First and foremost, I do understand that some people in America, they operate off of like emotion, you know, emotion, self righteousness, um, the idea that nothing really matters and whatever is whatever. That there's a lot of people like that. A lot of people who are liberal, operate like that. Nothing matters. If men want to have sex with little boys, nothing matters. It's just a matter of choice. If men want to cut their penis off and become a woman, nothing matters. If you want to have sex with a dog, nothing matters. If you want to do whatever you want to do, nothing matters, right? We got people who, and I would call it anarchy. There are people who love chaos and anarchy. They love it. It's a form of like ultra, hedonism. Even and some people might even say satanic. That's a satanic culture. And I'm not saying from a Judeo-Christian perspective satanic. I mean satanic like that is literally what Satanists believe. Whatever thou wilt do is fine. Anything is permissible. There's nothing wrong. There is no right or wrong. Whatever, do what thou wilt. That's the word. Do what thou wilt. There are lots of people, especially clothed in liberalism, especially clothed in Christianity. Lots of them. These people who don't have any standards and they just think anything is possible, Satanists. And I do not mean the little red devil and all of that. I mean they subscribe to the idea, do what thou will. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. There's no limitations. There's no judgment. Do what the fuck you want to do. Fuck a dog, fuck a frog, fuck a kid, fuck Santa, do whatever you want to do. Walk around naked. Just do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want to damn do. There's no judgment. There's no order. It's pure chaos and we love it. Okay? That is Satanist, if you think about it. In theory and in practice, that is Satanism. I'm not speaking about religion, I'm talking about the understanding that do whatever thou wilt. No limitations, no judgment, no problem. Okay? And I don't subscribe to Satanist perspectives. I think you have personal liberty, but then I think when it comes to the people and order in society, yeah, you got to have limits. You do have to have a right and wrong, right? We would be living in a purge. Think about it. If everything was just do what thou wilt, and we can't always, subscribe to just laws because laws only reflect the mentality of people at the current moment. First abortion is legal, now it's not. Now it depends on what state you're in. You see, that's a moral dilemma. But people do try to legislate morality. Okay, and there's a danger in that trying to legislate morality, no doubt. But I think we have to have some good fucking common sense, We're gonna have some good fucking common sense. At some point, you have to say what makes sense. It's not always about right and wrong. That's a good, thing to have right and wrong. But sometimes you got to say what's common sense, what makes sense. And if we compare America, okay, if we compare America to all these other countries, the first thing you understand is we're an anomaly. We're weird. We're getting dysfunctional. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Let me say that again. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. I just heard this man, he's a Somali, and he's make the statement, America is made for immigrants. Sir, you have got that wrong. The people who established America were immigrants. All you motherfuckers in the past 100 years just jumping on planes and coming to America, this ain't your country. They gave you some paperwork. You got on a motherfucking plane. You ain't fought in no wars. You ain't got no blood in the soil. You have not invested. You are not even here generationally. Give me a whole fucking break. And let me tell y'all something why this matters. It matters. We have to delineate because the truth of the matter is if you are an American, a black American, a white American, and you've been here 400 years generationally, a Native American, okay, the doors have been open for others to live here. We don't open the doors for people to take over. That's the difference. We're not about to have a United States where every single state becomes a representation and an extension of some foreign country. Whether we started a war or caused problems in that country, I don't give a fuck. We're not finna take South Carolina and give that to the Filipinos. We're not finna take North Carolina and give that to the motherfucking Koreans. We're not finna take West Virginia and hand that off to Russia. I don't give a fuck what country it is. White, black, this, that. We're not finna divide the United States into a bunch of territories that are extensions of other countries. We're not finna do that. And that's a problem that people think they can. That's a problem. This is America. Immigrants built America. America has allowed the American people, the true American people, have allowed immigrants to come. But this handing out, I never knew they was handing out citizenships like this. Usually, for the most countries, it take you 20 damn years to get citizenship. Most countries, decent countries, and there's still conditions with that. Still conditions. Those countries expect you to meet a certain standard. They expect you to come there educated. They expect you to be able to make some damn money, prove you can make some money, have a skill set that actually is appreciated and needed by the society. You have a purpose. You came here to build a business. You came here to work. You came here to add to the professions. You came here to go to school. You're going to contribute something. They never created America to have a whole bunch of people, even the Chinese immigrants that came early on to build the railroads, the Asians that came, they came with a purpose. When did we start allowing people to come to this country and they have no purpose? They cannot speak English. They can't communicate with nobody. They can't read. They're not educated. They can't get employed. They don't want to be employed. They come to just sit and drain the United States. Who handed all this away? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. They spent all of our lives telling us that we got to be industrious and we got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and we got to work hard. That's what Americans are known for. Sacrifice for your country. And you turn around and you give all this opportunity, undeserved resources to people who ain't paid no taxes. Brand new people who ain't did nothing for our country. Make that make sense. They ain't contributed nothing. And you just open up the treasure chest and say, take whatever you want. Why does that make sense? That what country? Think about it. And see, that's the thing. I don't like talking to people. And you don't have to agree with me, but I don't like talking to people who are ignorant. Tell me where that makes sense in any scenario. You just open up everything and let everybody just come and take, and there's no replenishing. Where does that work? Where does that work in what? In business? Does that work in business? Does that work in any institution? Where does that actually work? Where you let a whole bunch of people who don't contribute anything just keep taking and taking and taking from the resources. I mean, we could do this on a small scale. You got a basket of oranges. Everybody come and take oranges. Now there's no oranges. How about you take one orange and add three? You see, that's the system that we're supposed to have. If you take an orange, you add three. You bring some value. You take a little something because you bring value. And that's not what we're doing right now. You got a whole bunch of hands, begging hands, grubbing hands, crabs that want to take, 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 and they're not giving nothing. Y'all, they're not giving nothing. That doesn't make sense. That's not sustainable. It doesn't make any logical sense. And that's why I say I can't talk to. Did I put my pepper up? Where the hell is my pepper? I cannot talk to certain, people, people who don't think logical. I can't have conversations. It doesn't even make sense. Because you do understand that if you strain your resources and you create big welfare states and you don't have enough people to contribute and build, not only are the people who are the workers going to get tired of the freeloaders, the resources will be gone. They'll vanish, they'll disappear. There will be no sustainability. This is one, if we're honest, this is one of the problems of communism. You know, you have young people, they want to be communists, they want to be socialists, but they don't understand the science of it. At some point, it's not going to balance out. At some point, it's not going to balance out. And so there's a lot of economic and all kind of other things that people are not thinking about. They just feeling something. I feel self-righteous, you know? I want to believe. But where's the common sense and where does it actually make sense? Okay. So this is one of the issues they're having right now in Israel, to be honest. Israel is having the same fucking debate. This ain't nothing just about no damn third world. It's gotta make sense. It's gotta make sense in any country. It's got to make sense. You cannot drain all your resources on useless eaters and think you're gonna be able to sustain a healthy, functional society. That's not gonna work. So this is going on in Israel, for example. In Israel, they have let me turn this on rear. In Israel, they have a whole group of people called the Hadith. I think it's called Hadith or something like that. And these people um, are Jews. Hadin, that's the name of it. Hadin. I was trying to figure out how to say it. Hadin. The Hadin is half of the damn population, y'all. The Hadin believe that their only goal and mission in life, they were called by Yahweh, God, for them to only do one thing for the most part, which is have children and read the Torah every day, all day, to the extent that they do not believe that they are supposed to work. These are extreme, ultra Orthodox Jews. They are about almost 50% of Israel. But when they established Israel, these were some of the people who were ready to come first. They needed tons and tons and tons of Jews to come. And these were the ones, the ultra Orthodox Jews, these were the ones, the Hadin. They were the ones who came first and they built families. They built families quickly. Now, among the secular Jews, a lot of them are homosexual. I didn't know that, but they have a big homosexual liberal culture in the secular Israeli society. So a lot of them are not focused on procreating and having children. That is the goal of Israel, to fill their population and continue to build it. So to be honest with you, they are building their population off of the Hadin. The Hadin women, on average, are having anywhere between 8 and 12 children. So they are the people who will populate. So the deal is this: us secular Jews who want to get rich and worship money will do that. We won't have kids. We'll be gay. We'll be modern people. We'll do whatever we want to do. We're going to create our own little fucking utopia here in Israel. Now, y'all Hadin, go live over there. Go live in your villages. Go live your developing world lifestyles, and we'll pay for it. Y'all hear me? We'll pay for it. So this is what they do. These Hadin have these schools that are sponsored by the secular Jews. I've been studying this shit. This is crazy. Okay. They have several very interesting forms of communism over in Israel. Now they come over here and try to pretend that they're far right and conservative. That's bullshit. Israel is one big ass fucking welfare state. That's the one thing I do know. They are highly socialist and communist. Okay. Their whole society is set up on that shit. It thrives because of that. Honestly, they are a welfare state that sucks us dry. That's the first form of socialism and communism. Them motherfuckers don't pay for none of the shit they need. They are on pure D damn welfare. Everybody else in the world pays and they benefit. These are free riders. These are free riding communists. Okay, free riding Communists. That's what Israel is. They let the EU and America sponsor everything. They not finna pay for shit. Okay. The second thing is the agreement between the secular Jews and the Hadim. Okay, the Hadim are the ones that's going to reproduce and replenish the society with actual Jews so that they can maintain all of that land. They're going to take up all of this land, right? Power in numbers. The secular Jews is trying to get rich and live their best life. So that's the agreement they have. They have a communist agreement. We 50% will sponsor the 45% of you Jews who do not work, and all y'all do, they pay for their food, they pay for their housing, they pay for those schools they go to. They give them basically a whole welfare program. That's what keeps and maintains Israel. Well, the problem has come because we got to deal with common sense, right? At some point, if you just have people who are draining, 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 and they don't do anything, they're useless eaters. They don't give anything. They're not helping society. It cannot be sustained like that. So what has gone on with Israel is they have a lot of brain drain because of all the war and the aggression and Benjamin Netanyahu. A lot of young Israelis are saying, you know what? I'm going back where the fuck I came from. I'm going back to Germany. I'm going back to Austria. I'm going back to Britain. I'm going back to France. Fuck this shit. I need some for show money. I ain't come over here for this bullshit, right? Because they love that money. They came to see if they could get rich, and now they see this shit is on a downhill incline. They're done, and they're leaving. They're taking their money and their investments with them. They're supposed to start all these big Fortune 500 companies. They had a vision that Israel would be the center of the fucking world. They were going to be high tech. They were going to do this and that. All these big startups. Oh, they had big dreams for Israel. But all the young people have started to give up because the idea of just terrorizing the fuck out of people, it's just not going to do well. Your company's not going to get no contracts. Nobody, the world is trying to talk about boycott. So these people who are smart and young, using common sense, they're getting the fuck on. Let me go back where I came from. Now, let me say that again. That's important. Let me go back where I came from. Worst comes to worst. That's how you know if you're an American or not. Okay? Do I have anywhere I could go that my ancestors in recent years have connections and family that I could call on the phone? If you can't call anybody in another country and you don't have a place you can go and no paperwork connecting you, you're an American for the most part. Okay? You're disconnected and this is it. But a lot of these immigrants, this is a place you come make money. This is a place you come and come up. This ain't nothing they love. They don't love this place. They don't care nothing about America. They don't care nothing about American people. And how do we know? Because the Somalis have been saved by the American taxpayer. They've been saved. And there's countries, I mean, you should say that too. There are countries that literally start trouble, start problems, and they don't clean up nothing. They don't bring refugees. They don't give a fuck. They just do their dirt and leave them motherfuckers in the dirt. That's how they do. So some people say it's justified. Well, you start a war, you got to let all the people from that country come. Nah, you don't have to. There's no obligation there. Okay, you don't have to. But these people come from a whole fucked up country. Somalia's fucked up. It's been fucked up. Somalia ain't shit. Okay, it ain't shit. And I told y'all when I went to Haiti, I said this is fourth world. Y'all think third? No, this is fourth. This is the motion. I'm not talking about the Haitian people. I'm talking about the literal place, the lack of infrastructure, the chaos. And we can see it now. It's the only country in the world right now that is literally being rammed by gangs and vigilantes and violence. That's the only country I went to. I had to hire two security people to come with me everywhere I went. You see what I'm saying? It's not a good place. Haiti's not a good place. Somalia is very similar. Somalia is very similar. It's a violent place. Somalia and Haiti have a lot in common. Very violent, no infrastructure, a lot of poverty. No jobs, no production. The rest of the world don't fuck with it. They don't fuck with it. Nobody invests there. Okay. And terrorism is running rampant. Terrorism is running rampant and destabilized governments. Constantly somebody throwing a coup. Then you got a new president. Then there's a military officer. He takes over the government. I mean, chaos, chaos. These people come from absolute chaos. They always having famines. They can't grow no damn food. They don't have no infrastructure. They ain't built nothing. Just a series of shacks on hills and desert. That's what the fuck they come from. And I'm just telling y'all, they gave America their ass to kiss. And I'm really mad about it. And this is the truth for me. If it had been a situation where it was like, okay, it's a whole town of Somalis and they're all citizens, I'll be honest with y'all, I wouldn't have had a whole lot to say. That would have just been Trump talking shit. That would have just been Trump talking shit about Ilhan Omar and all that shit. That would have just been that simple for me. Well, it's a town, it's a lot of people there who are Somalian, and they came as refugees, and that's where they settled. No big deal. I wouldn't thought nothing of it. The part that pissed me off is listening to them. They hung themselves. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people are not paying attention. A lot of people just run their mouths and they're not looking at the totality of the situation. They got to understand you're in somebody else's country. There's certain shit you just don't say. You can feel it all day, but you don't fucking say it. Okay? People may not be, yeah, you got freedom of speech, you got First Amendment. You could come here and say, fuck America. I used you. I fucked you with no Vaseline. I'm using your tax dollars. Fuck you. I'm going to keep exploiting your country. Fuck you. I don't like none of you motherfuckers. You can say it, but should you? Should you? And that's what I'm telling you. When you start listening to these Somalis, they're in this community, they done got together, and you listen to them on social media, you listen to some of the stuff they say, they do not respect America. Any American listening, knowing their history and their background, how you are stuck in the desert, victim of your own country, terrorism and famine, poverty, and all of the stuff y'all have gone through as a people. How dare you, the most important superpower, the land of opportunity, gives you a chance to come here as a refugee, makes a way for you. And then you turn around and give us your ass to kiss. You should hear how they talk. You got the right to say it, but should you? The way they talk about black people, the arrogance. I would never, ever, ever have enough nerve to go in somebody else's country after I'm being rescued from my fucked up bullshit ass country and my people who are full of chaos and craziness. They rescue me, give me opportunity, give me citizenship. Not just let me stay for a little while, but actually give me citizenship. And I turn around and tell those very people on social media and otherwise, give them my ass to kiss. You got to listen to what they say and how they say it. They are not here to blend. They are not here to protect America. They don't give a damn about America. They have created an ethno state in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They have created an ethno state, and it is completely about an extension of Somalia. We have evidence. Ilhan Omar, she's at a presidential meeting with the leaders of her so-called country, treasonous as it looks, expressing how she's going to make sure that she uses her position in Congress to make sure that Somalia gets what it needs and da da da. She's basically saying she's going to be an ambassador. She's working on behalf. She said it out of her mouth. And then there's all these different people in the government. Even the sheriff said he's focused on Somali people. How you want to come into somebody else's country, carve out some territory, and then tell everybody publicly that you there to serve the ethno group that you belong to and you don't give a fuck about nobody else? How dare you give America your ass to kiss? How dare you give Americans your ass to kiss? We're just talking about the intentions right here. Just the intentions. Just the intentions. I don't want to hear that shit about multiculturalism and a community of many. I tell you what an American is. It's a motherfucker who don't got nowhere to go. Okay? You don't got nowhere to go because this is home. Somalis can do whatever they want to do and they can go home. Mexicans can do whatever they want to do. You call them Mexican American, whatever you want to call them. They can go home. Jamaican people, they can do whatever they want to do and then go home, whether that's work, whether that's crime, whether that's, you know, good shit or bad shit. Whatever they do, they can always go home. They have a home country. Just because you give somebody a piece of paper that says citizen on it because you just threw it away like it was a lotto ticket doesn't mean that's a citizen. Common sense. You got people who are not thinking out here. They're citizens. No, they're fucking not. They have somewhere to go. Whether they want to go back or not is a different story. They have a home. I am a black American. I don't have a fucking home outside of this one. And it's so offensive because even for American citizens, we can't just walk into other people's countries. We can't. They want to know how many thousands, how much money, what business you bringing. We got to have big investment as an American to go anywhere, and they still ain't giving you citizenship. They're going to let your ass be a visa or a permanent resident in a matter of 5 to 10 years. You got to wait. You got to pay a lot of money. You got to have a lawyer, okay? They just open up the whole fucking shit for these people. And their intention and their admitted intention on social media as well as on the news and Ilhan, their intention is to have an ethno community that serves them and them only, and they could give two flying fucks about America, American people, or what America needs to be healthy. They don't want to integrate. They don't want to learn English. They don't give a fuck. They are not trying to be part of this society. They are trying to carve out their own thing and exploit our resources to benefit their home country. And anybody who doesn't understand why that's a problem, you just not that smart. That's all. You're not paying attention and you don't know enough. And we can't do that in America. Like I said about communism, you can't keep taking. If we have an ethno community that takes over each state, what's that gonna look like? The Russians get West Virginia and they working on behalf of Russia, and all the representatives in all the towns and the cities, they start working on behalf of Russia. What the fuck is the United States gonna look like? Okay? We let the Mexicans take over California and Arizona and Florida. I mean, not Florida, Texas. They predominantly there and they focused on making sure they make Mexico great. We just gonna carve it out. This is how this country started, remember? The French carved out their part, the Dutch carved out their part. We're going back to that. And it's not gonna look good for those of us who don't have anywhere else to go. I'm just saying. Those of us who don't have anywhere else to go and this is home, that's not good for us. Because these motherfuckers can fuck up. Let me tell you what Jews do. These Jews come over here and do all kinds of shit. They come over here and act a whole damn fool. Look at Epstein and all that stuff going on. You see? We had a person who worked for Netanyahu in the State Department. He was in Las Vegas. He solicited a young girl for sex in a sting operation. Got caught. Did he have to stay in America? Did he have options? That motherfucker went and took his ass back to Israel. You see, home country. We Americans have a home country right here. We are Americans. And we're going to have to pull back the damn strings. Who's American and who ain't? And my argument would be anybody who didn't come here before 1900, your ass ain't American. Your parents can be a citizen, but if you ain't come before 1900, your ass is not an American. I don't give a fuck what piece of paper they done gave you. They bought your vote, whatever the fuck that is. These people nowadays, they do not want to assimilate. They want to carve out ethno states and ethno cities. And they want to drain the American resources at the cost of American people. That's a problem. That's the problem. Y'all know I don't like white folks. Y'all know I don't. But that bothers me to think that white people in Minnesota can't get coverage for the police department. They not answering them calls because that's not part of their ethno group. That bothers me. I don't even like white folks, but they are fellow Americans. That bothers me. Their tax dollar is paying for all of that stuff, financing everything. And you're going to turn around and tell the American people to kiss your ass. The American people have saved you from your shithole country, and you're going to come over here and be arrogant enough to give us your ass to kiss. You want to drain. And y'all, as I said, that would have been enough. I wouldn't even really gave a damn. But the part that got me was I found out they got gangs. You got the nerve to come from a violent country with chaos and all this shit. You got the nerve to start gang violence in America? I said, you can't be serious. I had a sense of it when I saw the ones here in Atlanta, but I saw they just probably cousins, they're young men, they're brothers, they just hanging out. That's what I was thinking. They're relatives, they're probably tribal people. That's that, but now that I look back at it, those were probably gangs. I was in college, I didn't think about it. They were probably gangs. And I looked it up. I did look up a lot of research on the gangs of the Somalis, and that shit is real. I looked up all the names, I saw the images, and you got them sitting there with their fingers and doing all them signs. And I was like, what? You got the nerve. Your parents did not have enough respect for America to raise you that you can't do that here. That our government saved you. And you don't insult and disrespect this country by coming with that ignorant shit. Not you, but that's what they've done. They've taken our country for granted. They disrespected us. This is the part where I draw the line. You could tell us you give us your ass to kids. You could do all of that. You got First Amendment. You shouldn't, but you can. But when I found out, not only do they have gangs, but I found out, like everybody else has, that they have been doing fraud. And y'all, the levels of fraud, because I started on this last night and I didn't get finished. The levels of fraud are so deep. It's not simple. There's welfare fraud. There's real estate fraud. Okay, they got people out here who paid $25,000 for some property and they not getting shit. Lots and lots of people. So they're doing all kind of fraud. They're doing Medicaid fraud. Are we not struggling to make sure that the disability, that's federal money, that the people who have disabilities, the old people who need this money, are we Americans, mainstream, real blood in the soil Americans, are we not worried about our elders who paid into the system, who fought like my father in the military and served, and you came over here and you gave nothing, and the only thing you did was get welfare, and you're going to take away from the federal funds that help Americans who have been pouring into this system their whole life? That's the insult. People talking about, why do you care? They're just Somalis. Everybody has a right to be here, but you can't give us your ass to kiss. You can't take our money through fraud and playing games and think somebody wants you to stay. You see what I'm talking about? Common sense. I don't give a fuck about feelings. I'm talking about common sense. What would I look like going over to Great Britain and them British people been paying that high ass 40% tax for their health insurance program, their United, medical situation? They got universal health care. And they got all these other things that they have paid into their whole life. You got an old British white dude. He's sitting up there 75 years old. And now they got to cut his money because my black ass and a whole bunch of other black Americans or whoever, then a whole crew of Americans, they carved out our own city state, and we didn't stole and defrauded the UK government to the point where it's making them have to cut the budget different. And now that old white man, that British guy who paid all of his life into this system, and I ain't paid shit. I don't even care. That ain't my country. I can leave if I want to, but I'm over here doing fraud. And now that man can't afford his medicine. He can't afford to get services because I invaded his country and did what the fuck I want to do. Fraud and crime. You see what I'm saying? It's not right. And nobody's going to convince me that some third world people who had no business over here deserved citizenship, did nothing to earn it, and we equals. That shit don't work like that. That's not common sense. Let me tell you how they got citizenship. They're supposed to be temporary until your country stops fucking fighting and acting like the fools they've been acting like. You can stay for a while. We'll give you a little reprieve in your life. That's what that's supposed to be. Not you come over here and you vote Democrat because we gave you citizenship. And that's all that is. You're not supposed to give away citizenship like it's fucking cookies. Nobody in the world does that. And that's my next point. You got a lot of people that don't know enough. They don't know anything. They just want to holler and shout and they want to talk from emotions. That's emotions. Find me a developed country that is a well oiled machine that's functional. And they give their citizenship away to people who can't speak their language, people who don't have any employment or plans for employment, people who can't work, have no skills, no education. They're not bringing any investment, and they're bringing a degenerate culture, backwardness, crime, and all kind of other bullshit with them. Show me a developed country where that's what they do. Give citizenship like that. Give away citizenship to those type of people. Can't read, can't do nothing, no skill set, not particularly educated, intelligent, or even trustworthy. Just give it away. Where the fuck does that work? I want to know. What country? Somebody name me a country that do that. That's functional. A westernized country that just throws away their citizenship to unworthy, untested people who are uneducated and backwards. Just show me. I want to see that shit. Where's that working? Europe is trying to get rid of their immigrants because they have too many. They dealing with Pakistanis. Pakistani culture is a problem. Do y'all know in Pakistan it's very common? Rape is just something you do. Y'all know that? Very common. It's not even prosecuted. It's not. You just go rape somebody and hope their family don't come after you. And they probably won't because there's shame. So they imported that to UK. Very common, just raping people. They see a woman, she's cute, just rape her. In UK. This is very common. So now they're saying, oh, we got a Pakistani problem. You understand? People bring their degeneracy as well as their good shit with them to a country. You have to evaluate people. You do. We're not gonna judge. People just treat people like that because that's bullshit. People are outsourcing their bullshit along with them. They are outsourcing their rape, their gang violence, their cancerous culture, their misogyny. They putting all that shit in their luggage. Do y'all understand that? These people come whole. It's called intersectionality. They come whole with who they are, good and bad. It comes with all of that. Yeah, it's cheap labor, but this motherfucker likes to rape people. How about that? Is that a good trade off? Yeah, okay. They came over here. You feel better because you started a war in their country, but they cut women's pussies off. Is that? I'm just saying. Are we trading that out? Oh, you feel better because you got these Somalis over here because we started wars and CIA and all that shit. So you didn't let this many refugees over here. But y'all know what? They like having sex with children and calling it marriage. Y'all know about that? Y'all want that over here? I'm just saying, we pretend that we don't have a specific standard in America as a culture that we are trying to strive towards. Now, do we have degenerates in our own culture? Yes. Do we co-sign that and think that's the norm? Fucking no. No. These emotional games, like we don't understand that people are going to bring all their bullshit on that plane in that luggage with them when they come. And that has an impact on America. And the more you have of that, more impact you have on America. That's common sense. We're not gonna play stupid like we don't get that. And so I'm saying I don't like having conversations. First and foremost, everybody's entitled to their opinion, okay? And I think everybody, even if your ideas are backwards as fuck, and you clarify, you talk about. I'm not ever gonna try to tell somebody that their idea is wrong or make some judgment because guess what? At the end of the day, that person has drawn their conclusions based on their what? Their own level of intelligence. And your level and my level might just be different, baby. You only can draw your conclusions based on what you have actually seen and researched. You might just be talking out the side of your mouth because you just want to be talking. And you haven't seen Ilhan Omar talking and running her mouth. You haven't seen the evidence of how she has already said she's here to serve Somalia and the president at current. You may not have seen, like I have, all of these Somalis talking shit about they not black and they don't care about blackness. They got their own culture and blah, 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 shitting on black people. You may not be aware of that. You may not have the level of common sense that I have. You may not have the world view I have. I'm a world traveler. I've been around a lot of motherfuckers. I have lots of friends from lots of cultures. I've been a teacher. I've been exposed to some shit. You may not. I'm just saying, I'm just talking in general. That's why I will never try to judge and tell somebody that their ideas are you're this and you're that. I will never do that because I understand that you bring to the table your brain at your level. And my brain and my level and my experience exposure might be way different than yours. How can I judge you for it? How could I? So I don't like people to do that to me either. Oh, you just this, no, you don't. No, don't be dismissive. Don't be dismissive to anybody because you don't necessarily agree or understand where they're coming from. And I can speak on this as a so-called former Pan-Africanist. Okay, I used to be a Pan-Africanist. Y'all know when I was a Pan-Africanist when it was a fucking idea. When it was a fucking idea because at that time I didn't have to apply it. Now, the first time I tried to apply, multiple times I tried to apply Pan Africanism, I realized that shit was just a theory. It's a fucking theory. Okay, I married an African, had access to lots of African people. Do you know what I found out? My pan was one sided. Pan meaning all. My pan love of blackness that was one sided. Some of them treated me like an individual, but generally they looked at me and called me Tuba. Told me I was a white man. I go to Africa, and you know what I am? Y'all know what I am? When I go to Africa, I'm a fucking tourist. They might call me sister, a term of endearment, but they did not recognize me as part of them. There was no natural love extended. I'm just telling y'all the truth. When you go to Africa, you're gonna find that out. They see you as a Westerner, and that's all you ever be, an African American, a black American. You're not part of their society. You never will be. Oh, brother, we are from the same. They don't recognize you. They don't. You ask any Africans, talk to enough Africans. You got friends that are Africans. They'll tell you you're different. They even treat them different if they've been over here too long. They tell them they white men if they've acculturated too much to America or the Western world. Same shit goes. It goes across. But you have to be exposed to Africans to know that. I've been around Haitians. I've been around Jamaicans, Dominicans. I got friends in all places. I got Indian friends, Arab friends. I got friends from everywhere. So I have a whole different perspective on some of this. We spreading the love shit. That love be one sided, y'all. That shit be one sided. I like Indian people. I have a lot of Indian friends. Indians treat me as an individual, but do they like my race in general? Not really. You can meet an Indian toe to toe and get to know them, and you can find common ground. But as a whole, do Indians embrace blacks? Do they see us as brother and sister? Fuck no. Fuck no. They buy into the stereotypes until you prove yourself different as an individual. So I'm not going to sit here and play we are the world, we are the children when I know better. And I do understand that people don't come to this to the understandings I have come to because they haven't had my experiences. I've been to Africa and tried the Pan African shit. I tried to connect to Dominicans. Dominicans will give you their ass to kids. They don't think you are part of them. They will tell you, I'm not black. I don't relate. I'm a Dominican. Like the Somalis will tell you, I'm a Somalian. Most of these people will tell you their nationality and they'll let you know that you're different from them and there ain't no connection. Period. Unapologetic. And you over here talking about some Pan African, Pan Connect. Let's connect. Let's be brother and sister. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't see no connection and don't want to. That's your own need to connect to some motherland. That's why Pan Africanism for me is dead. It's just a whole bunch of people who don't have a motherland looking for somebody to connect with. How many Africans you see, unless they just looking for some money and some funding, looking for Pan Africanism? When you see this? When you see that, it's some relationship or some money involved, some investment involved. Even Ghana don't want to deal with African Americans except to the fact that we're gonna come and provide some infrastructure. You know, we got to stop fooling ourselves. It's Pan African, um, and opening ourselves to the world. What other countries? What African country is saying other than Ghana, who wants some investment from Black people, and a few other countries? But seriously, like who else is saying we want a whole ethno group to come and take over our country? Where they doing that at? Please, I want to know. Seriously, is China doing that? China's is a developing country. Advanced, are they doing that? Is China saying, "Hey, everybody, just open the doors. Y'all come, create your own thing, do your own thing. Just come stay. Matter of fact, we'll take care of you." Is China doing that? No, no. Hey, what's up, Don? Hey, what's up, V Dub? What's up? So this thing is going haywire. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I think personally they should have gave a lot of green cards if they had people who were functional and had a purpose in America and they had a limit on the stay and they can renew possibly. That is to me the land of immigrants. That's how that should have worked. It should have been green cards. But to just be given like a whole 80,000 Somalians citizenship and they can't read, they're not educated, they don't give a fuck about America. Their culture is so opposite and different. That shit didn't make no sense. Didn't make no sense. Made sense to the libs and the Democrats because they were buying voters. At least they thought they did. You see how that these motherfuckers are so dumb. They turned around and gave the Democrats their ass to kiss. It's just not. It's just not. It's not. It's not something that's going to be feasible for longevity. You said Malaysia wants digital nomads to work in their country, right? But notice, Don, they have a purpose for you. They want you to bring your new company, right? They want you to establish a company there. They want you to probably contribute, buy a home. This is implied. You have a purpose. You're educated. You're talented, skilled, and that's what I'm arguing. What country invites people who can't read, who have a lot of degeneracy with them, opposite culture, a lot of backwardness, come from they're refugees. They were fleeing from somewhere, a country with no infrastructure, and you come, you can't speak English, you can't get a job, you have no skills, you have no education, and then you want somebody to take care of you. What country's doing that? That's my question. What country's just inviting that shit in? No skill, no education, no purpose. It'd be different, if they had to say, okay, we're going to build a cell phone power plant company, and everybody who stays on a green card who comes understands, like Dubai. Dubai don't fuck around. Dubai has lots of immigrants. I would argue that Dubai has more immigrants than any country because all them people come from Malaysia and Indonesia and fucking Africa and other countries. But they come with a purpose and they come with a skill set. They don't get to be citizens. They come and they work and they get what they want. They're honest. Dubai is honest. They come, they say, we need your labor and you need some money. We don't need you to stay and you don't need to stay. Let's have an honest deal here. They don't tell them, hey, you Malaysian who doesn't wear shoes on a regular basis, or you Vietnam who used to be, chick who used to be a prostitute in Ho Chi Minh or whatever fuck. Yeah, we want you to be a citizen. They don't lie. They don't lie. You're never going to be an Arab. You will never be an Emirati. We don't need you to be. But you need work and we need workers. So let's make an honest deal. When your job is over, you go home. We should have an honest contract with immigrants. This shit is not going to work. I don't have anywhere to go. And all of my family don't have nowhere else to go. This is home. And I think that that deserves protection. And anybody who don't want to protect the only motherfucking place they belong, try to go somewhere else and see what happens to you as an American. Try it. They gonna tell you if you ain't got $50,000, don't knock on our fucking door. And we only gonna offer you a visa or a green card, permanent residency. We're not offering you citizenship. Try it. Try to go somewhere else. Maybe Canada might be your best bet. You're gonna have to do all kind of investment. And you're gonna have to wait for a long time, and you're gonna have a lot of legal fees. I know. I tried to immigrate to Dominican Republic, and I did my investment, and I realized, you know what? I don't even want it no more. I don't even fucking want it. I lost all interest in it. When I saw how much, oh, you got to be for the first 3 years, you got to live here and prove that you've been living here for 3 years. What the fuck? I said, well, if I got property, I can kind of prove. I don't know, but then they like, well, you need to see your visas in and out. I said, oh shit, they literally want to see if I'm staying for 3 years straight. Go home on the on. They got rules to this shit. They put barriers up to keep you out. And then after 3 years, I can apply for permanent residency if I made at least a $50,000 investment after 3 years of living there. What? So I got to do at least a $50,000 investment. Have to have been living there for 3 years nonstop. Then I can apply for permanent residency, and it'll take me about 5 years to get that. So now I'm there 8 years. And then you can get another 10 years, you can apply for citizenship. Man, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm out. I'm done. This is how hard it is and the people who I know who are nomads, they have to go, like my one of my brothers, good brothers, he's been traveling for the past 10 years. But y'all know what he got to do? He got to go across the damn border to Panama, stay for a couple of days, and then walk back across the border with a new visa. This is bullshit. I'm not living like that. Or you got to get on the plane and leave and come back. I'm not doing that. They make it hard as fuck for an American to move somewhere else. And you think I'm not going to fight for what's easy, what's natural, and what's mine? I don't have to do shit but be American. This is the best country on the fucking planet, okay? So you damn right I'm gonna fight for it. I don't care what nobody who's ignorant and don't know enough got to say. If you're an American and you don't have nowhere else to go, and this is the only home you got, and you don't give a fuck what happens here, something's wrong. Something's wrong. That conversation early today was partially disappointing. Can lead a horse to water, but can't make a drink. Okay, yeah, exactly. Very disappointing. But like I said, V Dub, I acknowledge that everybody has different levels of understanding. Everybody has different priorities. Everybody has different levels of common sense. And everybody has different levels of intelligence. Okay, just natural intelligence. We are not all created the same. And I give people grace. When they have an opinion or whatever, I be like, okay, that's your opinion. I may have questions or challenge a little bit. But at the end of the day, I don't have no like fire and flame for somebody having an opinion that's not different. I mean, that is different than my own. But it surprises me when other people, they want to like bully you about you just dumb and you just this and you just anti-black and like, come on, man. I might know something and understand something on a level that you don't understand. Not judging that level, but I'm just saying. I see a whole fucking picture. And I do understand you get people who just get on panels to run their mouth. They just like to be contrary. I understand that too. That's why I don't take that serious. They ain't put no time in. They ain't watched no shit like I have necessarily. They haven't read enough. They don't know enough. They don't have any experiences. I can't take that serious. But the audacity of being, judgmental is funny to me. Let me read the rest. He said my uncle lives in Dubai, but his wife is from there and performs there. His daughter also was born there. Okay. So see, he's got some standing. He's got I don't is your uncle a citizen? Is he a citizen? Did he get citizenship or did he want it? Or dual citizenship? I don't know. But he's got some standing there. He's married to somebody from there. And he's got a child born there. So you got some standing. But I don't have no standing in no other country. Americans will never have standing in another country unless you come as an investor. And like I said, even that, I came there as an investor, hoping to buy myself into permanent residency. I don't know if I'd want citizenship. Because if I got to give up my American citizenship to be a fucking Dominican, I don't, fuck no. Fuck no. I would never let my American citizenship go. But I wanted permanent residency. But when they basically showed me it's going to take me 8 fucking years of all this extra shit and I got to invest, man, fuck you. Fuck you. And what happened to me is during the pandemic, that's the time when I would have said, you know what? I want to test the waters. I want to be able to run to my place when shit gets hot. That was the whole point of having it. But guess what? They shut the fucking planes down. I hadn't calculated that. I got somewhere in the sun to go away if I want to. But guess what? If they shut the borders and they control the planes, that place in the sun don't mean a whole lot, do it, when you can't get there. I said, what would it take? I'd have to go fucking Miami and hire a boat or a yacht or something to take me to Dominican Republic. And how much would that cost? I never considered that. The possibility that somebody would shut planes or restrict flights. I never considered that. When I said I got an escape plan, I can always go to my place in the DR. I can always do that. Shit get hot, I got somewhere to go. I never considered control of borders and control of flights. Never considered that. And I was somebody, have been somebody who is unvaccinated. And I will never be vaccinated. I don't give a damn how many times that shit come around. I'm not doing it. That's a killer shot. And because I was not vaccinated, I could not travel. So for them 3 years, I could not go to the Dominican Republic, to my own fucking property, and do anything. Nothing. And that turned me off. I said, what the fuck is the point of having somewhere to go and you can't fucking get there when you want to? What's the point? Okay, let me read what you wrote. You said, I don't know. He has dual Panamanian citizenship. Okay, so he's got American and Panamanian citizenship. That's what I'm saying. Motherfuckers got dual citizenship. I don't have no problem with immigrants being in America. I think immigrants being here makes America great. But I have a problem with people disrespecting Americans. And I have a problem with people coming here and creating ethno cities and ethno states that push us out of our own fucking country. I have a problem with that. And I definitely got a problem with them exploiting our federal government programs to the point where Americans can't even afford to live in our own fucking country because they are sucking up our resources through fraud. I got a problem with that. I think that's a little common sense, being that I don't have anywhere else to go. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's way out there. I don't think so. I got a lot of common sense. And like I said, if you can find a developed country that invites the people who are most degenerate, who can't fucking read, can't fucking write, they're not educated, they're not skilled, they're not employed, they're not employable, they're poor, they come with nothing, no investment, and they just open the doors and say, just take whatever you want. We'll take care of you. Show me that fucking country. I want to see it. I want to see that country. America is the only one that I know of. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so it's the disrespect part, which is why I want them to go. Because they literally gave America their ass to kiss. If it was just, oh, it's a town of Somalis, just like them town of Haitians, I didn't care. That's all okay. They got a whole bunch of Haitians over there. Cool. I don't live there. I don't care. Not my culture. I don't have no problem with Haitian people. They ain't never did nothing to me. Got no problem. But this Somalian group, that fraud, the gangs, the disrespect, the talking shit, the defiance, oh, they got to go. Got to go. You sending money to terrorism? Using our tax dollar? Oh, you got to go. Medicaid is being cut for Americans and you over here frauding and stealing? You got to go. You got to go. I want them people out here so bad. I want them people out there. It's kind of like, you know how you got like peach cobbler? And that shit be good. You just gotta taste it. I gotta taste these people leaving. That's how serious it is for me. I want to taste it. I want to see it. I want them gone. I want them gone because the rest of America is struggling. The rest of America is struggling. We out here couponing. We out here struggling. We out here buying less, doing less in our own fucking country. All because of Donald Trump. But nonetheless, we struggling. And you got these motherfuckers out here buying land in Kenya with our tax dollars because they stealing so much. They out here buying cars. They out here doing shopping sprees. Man, you got to go. You got to go. And it's not like it's just one or two or three. This is a whole network in the Somali community. And so that's what I'm saying. People don't know enough, maybe. They don't know enough. They don't understand why. They had the mothers taking the children. The children are participating. Unknowingly, they're participating. The kids all got autism. They went from getting $3 million the first year. They got all this extra money. They created all these fraudulent businesses. They're billing Medicare for kids that don't have autism to the point where almost 50% of the Somalian kids is claiming that they have autism so they can all steal from the government. They creating fake LLCs, fake practices, having fake appointments with fake doctors. They are colluded. That shit is RICO worthy, okay? The mothers, the fathers, the children, the doctors, the business owners, and everybody in the fucking government. These motherfuckers gotta go. They colluded together. That means the mother knew that there was no appointment because the buildings don't exist. You understand? Them big fat bitches with them 10 different colors and clothes on are the ones who pretended that their child had a disease they know their child did not have, and they pretended there were appointments at buildings that didn't exist and businesses that have no LLCs never been established. They all colluded so they could all get rich. Ilhan went from $0 when she began her career to now she has 30 million. 30 million. These motherfuckers is buying houses. I got a problem. And then they got gun violence and all kind of gangs and all kind of shit. You gave America your ass to kiss. And I'm pissed about it. I am fucking livid. I really am. I just keep watching and I'm just like, the more I learn, I'm just like, oh, you motherfuckers gotta go. Y'all got to go. You got to go. I actually respect my country. I didn't realize until I really got to traveling how much I respect my country. We take a lot of shit for granted. The fact that I could just go in this bitch and I got 4 or 5 fucking sinks in this motherfucker. I can just turn it on and get some water. Y'all understand how hard that is for the rest of the world to do? You got to see some shit. There's a lot of countries that you got to walk and go get some water out of a well. You know? I respect that shit. Even toilets, even in India, they have a working fucking toilet where it actually flushes with real water and it can be clean. I didn't see that a lot in India. I saw holes with shit all over them. Doo doo and layers and piles of doo doo around them. That's normal. Cleanliness that America has, the sanitation, the infrastructure. We ain't always the best because our country's so big. But baby, we are blessed. We are blessed. I would dare anybody to say I'm in America starving. You a fucking lie. This is a country where nobody starves. You can ask anybody in America and they will buy you some food. Okay? Very few people will turn you. If you say, listen, I just need a piece of chicken and a biscuit and some water, very few Americans are going to turn you down. Even if they broke, they're going to find a way to get you a piece of chicken. That's a great country. That's a great country. When people ask me for money, you know what I tell them? I'll buy you some food. What do you want to eat? I'll go get it. That's what most Americans do. That makes us a great country. Most of these countries are not like that. Nobody gives a fuck about nobody. Nobody. They will sit and beg all day long and not get nothing until a foreigner come along. I'm telling you. This is a land where people have been generous. I don't know about this fucking government, right? I can't speak on that. because it's ran by a whole bunch of evil ass white ass men who all need to die soon. But I can tell you, the American people are an amazing people. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of Mexicans too. I'm really tired. The Mexicans showed their ass. They didn't offend me as much, but when I saw them acting a fool in LA and burning American flags and waving Mexican flags, I was like, why don't you just go on back where you came? If you're that dedicated to Mexico, you should probably head on back. That's how I felt about that. And I'll just tell y'all, I mean, I'm a traveler. I don't disrespect nobody's country. I don't disrespect nobody's country. If you give me a visa for 7 days, guess what? May is leaving on day 6. I don't think I have a right to stand in your country and tell you I'm finna protest. Tell you I'm not leaving. I'm here to stay. These motherfuckers are saying that. I'm here to stay. I'm illegal, but I ain't going nowhere. This is my home now. What? Man. And I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. When I see ICE acting a fool on these folks, I don't got no sympathy. I don't got none. I got nothing. Because they told you that if you didn't belong, you was violating laws and you still here. You're defiant. You're arrogant. You're disrespectful. You're taking up resources. You understand? You're taking up resources from the American people. I don't got no sympathy. Not none. Not none. So that's where I'm at with it. If you want to be here, do the shit the right way. You know what I'm saying? Come here legally. Come here right. Come here to contribute something. It is open to immigrants. But don't think for a second that you deserve the right to vote, to hold office, and you ain't put no blood in. So I don't know why they are giving away citizenship like it's a motherfucking chocolate chip cookie. I don't get that. Ilhan is dedicated to Somalia. She told her people and the president as such, I'm here to represent Somalia. She shouldn't be representing nobody in America. If she want to hold public office, she should go back to Somalia and run for public office there. We got immigrants running our government. I remember I saw some Russian lady, and the Russian lady had the nerve to just basically tell all the people in her district she don't give a fuck. She was cussing them out, talking to them crazy. I said, why is this Russian bitch being elected anyway? She ain't did nothing to me, you know. But why is this Russian bitch standing up here in America talking shit to American citizens in a position of power? They voted the bitch out. They just see that's the problem too. The white folks thought, she was cool because she was white. She's Russian. That's different, baby. Some people have never met Russians. They don't know nothing about Russian. I know a lot of Russians. A Russian will make you hit them in their mouth because they talk reckless. Okay, they'll make you beat their ass. They different. They're not regular white people. White people really get confused about Russians, and I think the shit's hilarious. I think it's hilarious when white people mix with Russians. They have a come to Jesus moment. This motherfucker different. Yeah, they different. They real different. Russians made out of something else. You don't know till you met a couple. Them motherfuckers different. They not regular white people. They do not even operate like that. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. And I'm gonna just say this. Um, it takes a certain amount of intelligence, enough education. And when I say education, I'm not even talking about formal. It takes amount of education to understand that you have your worldview, your cosmology, experiences, and things that have shaped the way that you feel. And I too have my own cosmology and things that shape the way I see the world and feel about things. They're not going to be the same because me and you ain't motherfucking twins. And on that note, I'll end my live. Ashe.